All right, so I have seen a few content creators' videos about the most recent discussion with the developers. Now, what I mean by this is that I want to make sure this is very clear. So, people were invited into the official JJK Phantom Parade Discord server and able to talk and ask questions to the developer team. And this was mainly just very poignant questions. Some of them are very straightforward. And most of the questions were conducted by the head mod of the Discord server. Also, like, he's kind of like the community manager, or he is the community manager. It's one of those two. And so this is the ultimate, information we got. And I know a lot of other content creators have discussed this, but, I want to make sure I do my fair share and give my honest opinions, as it's just what I always try to do. So first off is they're trying to give out as many cubes as they can, but they face pressure from many entities. Can't just hand out cubes, but more is being given already. Now, this is very important because of the fact that Global is behind JP. And from what it seems is that they are trying to hasten it and have us catch up to JP as quick as possible. And by doing so, you need to give out more free-to-play cubes for players who just don't spend money on the game. That's just very poignant and very plain and simple in order to, please majority of the global player base. Number two is the schedule conformed to be very different. Now, this is obviously true given the fact how we got domain expansion Megumi before Yuta. I definitely see this being very important down the line. Now, whether or not certain characters come out in different time slots compared to when they were released in JP, and example being Toji and the whole hidden inventory stuff being Half-Anni. Will that still be Half-Anni for global? It's to be seen. They could push that out a lot faster and quicker. Heck, that could be for New Year's. We never know, right? So, Tower Adversary coming extra early. It will release in chunks and not all at once. This is the tower that JP has. I've recently just started doing on my Japanese version, and it's fun. It gives every stage you get 100 cubes, and then every 5 stages you get 300 cubes, as well as a little material piece in order to exchange for, whether that be for a universal recollection bit enhance or tier upgrade, or that being a universal character dupe. So it's very, very good. So next up is quote from Xanon. No clue if we're going to get the same units as JP's half anniversary. I'll let you decide, given the info with the Half-Anni units will come for sure sooner, in quotes, sooner. So this definitely says to me that Toji and Teen Gojo are going to be coming out a lot sooner. And if that is the case, they have to be your top priority. Yes, we have Anniversary Yuji and we have Domain Expansion Gojo, but personally, I use Teen Gojo the most out of anybody else in the game, and he's just so freaking good and strong. Toji is also very, very strong, being able to take on boss fights all by himself. He's just that good. Next up is, will PvP be implemented? And then so if JP releases it, so will we. I don't see PvP coming to the game anytime soon, to be completely honest. I don't understand how they would implement that into the game, given how the mechanics work. I just don't see that happening. Pity transfer system is coming much earlier, should be in around 2 to 3 months from how he worded it. That being the developer, I do see Pity coming very, very soon. It is very good. For example, on my main account, I have 80 tickets that I could just throw on any banner, and boom, that's already 8 multis that quote unquote technically count towards the character. So Pity system is very, very appreciated, and given how much backlash that the developers have received from the global fan base and the player base, it makes it very clear to me that Pity system is going to be coming out. I want to say probably January is the timetable I am personally thinking, maybe the end of January, but I'm definitely slotting it into that spot. Rates and Pity amount, 250 will not change. They will work around it. I don't see this happening. I just see Pity staying at 250. I mean, heck, the developers have to make money, and so by doing so, keeping the pity at that point, I just don't see it changing. Now, granted, I don't, they're not going to change the rates. That would be a huge legal thing if they do change rates, but the pity system, I don't see changing. More step-ups coming, probably not paid because of the severe backlash from the 8 million downloads. I was annoyed by this as well. Obviously, this was before I started making content, but the 8 million downloads being told that, hey, we are giving out a multi. I was like, all right, cool. And it's going to be a guaranteed SSR character or SSR recollection bit, whichever. I was very happy about. However, given the fact that we were given 1/3 of a multi and 1,000 cubes, and then the celebration banner was paid 3,000, I thought was very low and very scummy. So glad that that's not going to be happening in the future. Auto mode AI update is being worked on with a lot of effort. The difficulty is the bugs they encounter from transferring a region locked version, that being global. Now, this is important because AI has to be improved dramatically. So I am very glad that they're going to be working on that. I do understand how there is going to be a difficulty in that Japanese version is region locked to Japan. There are work ways around that with the VPN, but I definitely see that and understand why that is difficulty. Quote, do not plan based off JP version. This goes back up to the previous thing, how the banners are going to be different. You have to use JP as somewhat of a template and a guide, not necessarily go based off of that. Understand units on the Japanese version and how they work. So it's very helpful for when players, I can only speak for myself. I don't know all the other content creators who also have a Japanese account, but listen to them when it comes to, and myself, listen to us when it comes to the Japanese characters and who we tell you to prioritize over other characters, because we have history and understanding using these characters. Guilds and leaderboards are coming. We will be working off a Discord bot. I know a lot of people are kind of up in the air about this. I personally don't like this, how we have to use Discord for the game. Obviously, it'd be a whole link system that you would use your account onto the Discord, but I just think it'd be better if it was used in-game, and obviously they're not going to do this if it's not already on the Japanese version. Global and Japanese joint celebrations won't happen as of now. No plans to, but he found it interesting, Dokkan's worldwide celebration. I definitely see this happening once Global catches up to Japan. Once that time period happens where they're both in conjunction going along the same path, I definitely see joint celebrations happening. A PC launcher will come out at some point. This is a huge bonus. Anybody who loves playing your games on PC, this is very good. Personally, I'm not home right now, so I'm playing on my phone, obviously. But if I had the PC client, I'd be using that most of the time instead of using my phone, draining battery, all that stuff. Will the schedule be accelerated? I believe it will be yes. Now, I know a lot of people are super excited for Toji and Teen Gojo coming out sooner. In conjunction with this, I don't like this at all. There was already backlash earlier once they changed Megumi and Yuta's banner, and the fact that they are accelerating is not good at all. This is why I keep telling people not to summon for certain characters, because we are on an accelerated timeline as of now until we catch up to JP. And because of that, that means more characters are coming out. And yes, they're going to try to be giving, and they have been giving more cubes. It still is not going to be enough to get every character you want. So I'm not a big fan of that whatsoever. Will units be added to standard quicker? I'd assume so. No clue if it'll be the same batch of units though. I think that so what I think should happen is once a standard banner character gets released, let's say for example in this instance it's Hollow Purple Gojo. Don't summon for him on his initial banner. I think what should be done is once the next standard character gets released, once that banner comes out, then the previous standard banner character should be thrown on there. I think that's exactly how that should be working. And obviously right here, the paid banner for the 8 million download celebration, whenever that happens again, it's not going to be paid. Too much backlash. I do think that is a very good idea because there was a lot of backlash, and rightfully so. The future of this game is a positive, not a negative one. I do think the mechanics of the game I really enjoy, and I do see a long future for this game. Xanon will push for gacha chances. Roadmap being worked on, this is very huge because of the fact that we're not going to be going based off the Japanese version. A roadmap is going to be very helpful for a lot of players so we understand what characters are coming out. Many matters strictly follow the Japanese version. Obviously, you know, that's very important. We have to follow certain things on the Japanese version, certain game mechanics, all of that. Pity is something Xanon is trying to help get changed. It's difficult though. The pity's not going to change. Obviously, we need the pity system in the game much sooner than what JP got, and they are definitely working on that. But again, the pity is not going to be changing in the current amount. Trying to get more content is very good. Bullet points. Okay, so this was all stuff that was mentioned. So overall, I do think that some key aspects here is that pity system coming earlier is very good. Tower coming is very good. What I don't like, and I know a lot of people are somewhat excited, other content creators as well, is the fact that the Half-Anni characters, that being Teen Gojo, Teen Geto, as well as Toji coming out sooner instead of half anniversary, I think is a massive L. I think for celebrations such as that, they need to stick to that time slot because that gives people time to save up for these characters. The fact that they're going to try to release them sooner, I'm not a big fan of, but most of the other stuff, I do like the trajectory that we are going and the fact that the developers are listening and trying to make improvements. It's just the whole accelerated timeline I'm not a big fan of, but I can't do anything about that. All you can do is just save, watch showcases on certain characters coming out once we get information, and decide whether you pull for those characters or not.